Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Play Combat Mission. So this is battle 4 out of 7 in Canadian Armageddon. We have revealed a new part of the map. It keeps going. We are still climbing up the hill southwest of Pan in part of the later stages of Operation Goodwood with the Canadians. As you can see here, we got a lot of reinforcement. A whole blob of units just thrown our way. So that we can sort them ourselves and deploy them as we need them to be. And we have advanced as far as the edge of that small group of houses, one of which is destroyed by artillery fire, I'm sorry. Yeah, and then there are a lot of guns and then we still milling about, but well, we pushed them out and now we got the territory. Doesn't matter. One side has to just push the furthest and that is going to take care of itself. The rest of the map is going to take care of itself as far as our occupation goes. So, what to do with all this glut of men and armor? We have, I think, 3 Sherman 3s, which is kind of useless, and 1 Firefly, which is pretty impressive offensive weaponry, but is liable to catch fire whenever it's fired upon by anything other than, well, anything more stronger than PSW, which is a scout car. And yeah, here is my deployment. Wow, it took me some time to organize all these troops. So infantry, forward, followed by the heavy weaponry such as PIATS and mortars, and this is our objective. This group of houses once again before we face the oncoming fire in the open expanse of French wheat once again. Yeah, a new town has been revealed called Troteval. Troteval. Valley of something? I don't know, Trot kind of sounds like a German word for death, which I believe to be tot or something. So it's rather ominous, yeah. And actually you can skip the night battles. Wow. Yeah, but I think, I decided not to skip it. I mean, in most cases I would just go with it, to heck with it and then just go into the morning, but I think I needed all the turns, all the battles that I need to advance, because yeah, I thought that my progress has not been good enough in the previous battles, so I decided to just keep going and use a night to our advantage, night as a cover to advance the furthest. And we have a long way to cover to the next group of houses, so let's see if we can gain at least to the next set of villages or houses so that we can launch our attacks from there. So first turn is just, yeah, using the broad front method, I guess, that I used in the previous battles to advance to the group of houses. Left flank, there is actually a name to the village called Beauvoir. Middle, not really. Just an area where there are houses, but yeah, this is our next objective. The right flank is just going to use the wheat field to advance as far as possible until they come across the... My goodness, they shot a lot. I mean, I put them into sneaking mode, but I don't think that's going to serve them any well. I mean, by shouting all the time, the Germans will know exactly where we are. And with direct artillery fire at least on our way. So yeah, I mean, they're just slowly inching upwards. Some of these guys in here, they don't move at all, just to try to cover and a bit of a reserve with the Vickers watching over the short distance that they have. And we are climbing a hill, as you can see. Well, I mean, I don't think you can really see it, but yeah, we are climbing a gentle slope, and that really affects the line of sight that the artillery and tanks can cover. So that's one of the reasons why I do not move the tanks, because the tanks can't really see anything unless they climb up to another, I guess, color of terrain, which is lighter as they go up, as they get higher. And if I move them too abruptly, then I think they'll be vulnerable to, anti-tank fire, because they have to travel through the open field, relatively open field with high profile and the like from the Shermans. So second turn is same story, just walking up, a lot of shouting, telling the Germans where we are. You can see the green indicator among the sea of salmon. The salmon is Canadians. Green are the Americans. The Americans, I don't know why they joined us, but we have some American flamethrowers in the mix. So yeah, I guess they have better flamethrowers than what we can bring. So still climbing with a bit of a carrier support in the back, but I don't want to move them too close. Thankfully they can actually negotiate the rather rough terrain of midfield. Yeah, so it's rather slow going, but we are advancing into the bushes and other cover so as to maybe surprise the Germans. But I mean, I'm trying to do something that I haven't done before. As you can see, I have directed artillery fire into the objectives. Yeah, we're going to arrive in a few turns. I don't know whether it's going to really work because it might just last a turn of artillery barrage, which is not really that much. I don't think it's going to really seriously affect the German defenses, but then I learned the hard way what happens if I just go really into some uncharted area without any artillery support ready at hand. And I delayed too much artillery support last battle, which probably led to some of the biggest losses. So I'm just preemptively striking them. It's not really a good way of introducing the liberators to the French civilians. I hope they all evacuated. But yeah, I mean, we're just bombing them, bombing these little houses. Maybe it's going to unsettle the Germans and then get them out of position of entrenchment. This is how it might look on the German side. Yeah, once again, there are a lot of Canadians covering every inch of the land as they crop up, so no chance of Germans to sneak toward behind. Beauvoir is within reach. Yeah, so they are gaining some steam, stretching their legs here. Yeah, so the artillery is going to strike, I think, the next turn I think 4. And that's going to allow the Canadians to reach as far as possible before they're in the friendly fire range. I think this is turn 5, sorry. No, I think this is turn 4. So we're going to reach Beauvoir, the middle area, guys. Middle group is going to just advance a bit further into the wheat field, trying to envelop the whole town and a possible attack from every angle. I do believe that the German defenders will be in the area, near the area, because that's the only significant cover that they can use. Same goes for this town in the middle, unnamed town, along with the town, I guess the village on the right flank, which we have yet to reach. But we are sending a group of guys over there as well at the same time, so as not to waste any variable turns. And here we go, the artillery barrage starts. Yeah, so this is the middle village, and the artillery spotter is rather close to them. Beauvoir is rather far from our artillery spotter, so it's not going to be as accurate. Once again, I think this is the middle village, and the artillery spotter is, I think, not 200 meters away from the target, so I think it takes shorter time to recalibrate and adjust the direction of artillery fire, and also it gets more accurate, I think. And then if you can actually see the target with the spotter, which is indicated by the blue instead of yellow like this, then I think it's even better. But since we are climbing up, our line of sight is sadly interrupted. Yeah, I'm afraid of friendly fire, so I'm directing the artillery fire way up there just in case. If there is some kind of a bunker, maybe if I'm lucky enough, I'll be able to knock it out. And also on the right flank there is another group of houses. I'm directing the artillery fire there as infantry is almost at the edge of these objectives and attempting to capture this area for us and prepare another staging area, maybe now with the armor following up. Yeah, so we are basically advancing unopposed. Definitely some kind of ambush is being set up here. It's just too quiet. Of course, there's some incessant chirping of crickets. I think for night battle, it seems a bit too bright. I don't know exactly how it looks like on your screen, but yeah, maybe this is French countryside. There are a lot of stars out and about, or the moon is rather bright on this particular day in July. But the weather is overcast, so it could be a bit darker, but I mean, I have no complaints though. It would be nice if I am to experience or feel the limited visual range that the soldiers would have felt or was in during the night, because surely there is some visibility problems affecting them, both for the Germans and us. And they're going to literally headbutt each other sometimes because you cannot see each other. Yeah, so the next turn is, I mean, I directed artillery fire to be just northern edge of the town of Beauvoir, or village of Beauvoir. I keep saying town, that's not a town. And also at Troteval and the village on the right flank. So we are basically entering the town.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, entering the town, as you can see. Yeah, going to the cover, which is good to see. Apparently abandoned. Sure, no problems here. Seeing, cannot really shake off the feeling that the Germans are simply inviting us to the town and into houses like this. They're just spring us some kind of trap. Using the brush to cover our advance as much as possible. One of the intrepid group of Canadians are going to the house and busting some doors. Some Germans nearby here, spotting. Yeah. Might look like this on the other side, on the opposing end. Oh my goodness, yes. So some gunfire, I think it's MG, German MG somewhere. Suspecting it to be coming from some building or area near Beauvoir on the left flank. So first gunfire heard at the end of turn 6. And tank is still standing pat because I'm afraid that it's going to come under anti-tank fire if I ever bring these guys into open field. And I remember a gun emplacement in Beauvoir and I have not destroyed it, so I'm sure that is also it's still part of the German defenses, aiming at every moving object that it can come across. And where did that fire come from? You can see pretty clearly that there is some very people just plopping, going down on all fours here. Yeah, plopping down, and there's a German guy near the road in the scattered trees. Better cover than our lead field, taking aim at our advanced party. On the right flank, the artillery is still going on, and I'm waiting for artillery to recalibrate to hit these guys. Yeah, so Germans have opened fire. As you can see, the tracers, yeah, they have more than one unit. Pretty substantial amount of defenses. And we are caught out in the open basically. And we are suffering some losses, casualties. And as you can hear by the sound here, there's also a tank getting to the mix. Yeah, so it's not really looking good for us. Maybe we should really, I think it's gonna probably force our hand and compel us to move the Shermans. I don't know exactly what this tank is. Hopefully it's some kind of a Hotchkiss French tank. but this is Khan. This is where the meat of the German defenses were, so I cannot really count on Germans' good graces to dust off any old French tank and use it to counter this Canadian tsunami. So the tank on the left side is a problem, and of course, not to mention all the machine guns and German defenders hiding firmly entrenched in foxholes probably near the road. I mean, I didn't take the open road here into the town, but could have taken a bit of a scattered tree cover as well. The bulk of my forces are in Beauvoir right now, and these guys, yeah, still standing pat. I do have some PIATS coming up behind. I think you'll soon see the PIATS here, trying to slink into the buildings and the woods on the southwestern side of Beauvoir. Now they're in the edge of the wheat field. In the bottom screen, the PIATS. They're going to move slowly, and these guys are not crawl back because they cannot take additional damage from the German gun emplacements. And yeah, exactly, hit the deck. Some of them are routed too, in panic. And our main advance on that side is stopped cold. In the middle part, we are still getting around to capturing the objective. We have entered the road here inside the village and heading into the cover as soon as possible. Running. Yeah, and this is middle area, middle group. We've identified another German gun just outside of the village. And I think German artillery is now aiming squarely at the right flank, our right flank. And the tanks started moving, but still rather tentative about whether to face the German armor, just waiting for it to reveal itself and deciding what to do. Next turn, yeah, we're still trying to envelop the town, as hard as it may to believe, because I'm under fire, constant fire from that side, but I'm still trying to move the guys in order to surround them as much as possible before yeah, enveloping them and overwhelming them along with the artillery fire that is sure to come. And here the middle machine gun was overwhelmed, retreating. And yeah, Beauvoir is being captured house by house. It's gonna provide us with a good cover for us to engage the Germans on the other side. The tank has revealed itself once again. It's definitely going for our infantry in the wheat field. And it's going to reveal itself pretty soon. And the German machine gun guy has made a terrible mistake of going out of the house and getting blasted right away by the artillery that just started to pummel the area. And this is the middle town. Yeah, there's some Germans hiding still. I think one of the Canadian units suffered casualty. And these guys are running, of course, because there are so many Canadians shooting at them. The houses once again, yeah, in the middle town, the village. The artillery has started to pummel the northern side, on the eastern side of Beauvoir, where the Germans are. Yeah, so next turn is going to be just me reacting. The PIATS will move up into the house and into the woods, within the range of that unidentified armor. And we are still trying to move the guys in order to surround the whole town or village. I keep saying town, dang it. If I say town, just assume that I'm referring to village. Okay, so this is a Stuk 3, and then I think it's Stuk 3G model that is yeah, very good actually. And this machine gun guy has ran all the way to the cover, but it might be too late for it. Yeah, lost another man and lost 5 men, and the last remaining guy surrendered. Stuk 3G, the late model, 1944-45 model. One of the primary armor that was very effective against Shermans. I think it was the primary destroyer of Shermans. I think Sherman suffered the most. Yeah, it was knocked out the most by this tank, so it really dissuaded me from moving the Shermans from the back. And the artillery is still pummeling that village on the right side. And the Stuk 3 is having a field day, knocking our French, well, not French Canadian, but it could be French Canadian, but you know, I don't think there was any French Canadian troops in this operation. But yeah, they're basically ducks lining up to be hit by the Stuk. And these guys cannot direct the artillery fire anytime soon. I mean, one of them has started firing, and the other is going to soon join. Previously it was aiming for Troteval further up, but now I've just decided to concentrate my fire where the defense is the strongest. And yeah, we are still shooting, but then the PIATS have not arrived yet to counter the German Panzer, so we're going to have to endure their turn of the tank having a free reign of the place. The tank is a veteran tank, which means it can fire pretty quickly and identify targets very well. The right flank we're moving up unabated, and I mean, as long as we move up as far as possible, that's going to count as the territory captured across the entirety of the map, so that's what I'm trying to do. If one place is been blocked off by or obstructed by the German defense, then I can use the other side to advance. Yeah, so German MG is firing at the guy in the house while the gun is trained squarely on the guys haphazardly strewn over the field. And the PIATS really have to target the tank right now. And now this guy's turning, of course, doesn't have any turret to speak of, but under the guidance of a skillful tanker, I don't think it would really matter. I mean, they can probably use the tracks to turn as quickly, if not quicker, to face the next threat. Although the Shermans had the advantage of, you know, having gyroscope, big sight or something, so you can actually move while the turret was turning and firing. Yeah, so artillery is now landing a bit close, too close to our for our comfort. And mostly it is targeting the Germans and suppressing them so they cannot shoot back at us as we scramble to our safety. Yeah, I think the other artillery spotter, other artillery has joined in. So yeah, the situation has stabilized somewhat on the left flank. PIATS are now moving into place. Still, I mean, their weapons pretty heavy, and the tank is now moving up, but not with the intention of engaging the tank, which is surely be able to destroy us. Two of our tanks, I mean, on the left flank, in a very quick order because of its veterancy and the quality of the tank itself. Statistically, the Stuk 3G model has a gun that is comparable to Mark IV. Not on the level of 88mm on the Tiger or the Panther, but can still destroy Shermans at like 500 meters or so. So it's a very lethal weapon. And then yeah, I want to just engage them with the infantry if possible. Yeah, still being shot at. So we suffer a lot of casualties here. I mean that's needless to speak. Yeah, and then the United States guys have faced some very novel weapons here. Flamethrower hiding in the trees, and it's very devious too. You just waited for the Americans to get caught up in the stone walls and then fire that flame, which led to some casualty there. Yeah, so it was a pretty interesting moment there, and then you can actually tell that there's a flame from nearby by its sound. Artillery basically pummeling the whole place, making false walls for the Germans. How nice of them. And PIATS are slowly making its way. This is the middle part where we identify the flamethrower, and before you could fire again, it's been eliminated. I think not by our artillery, but their own artillery. They started firing at our guys in the middle. And our artillery makes a pretty good attempt at destroying the tank, but it was not enough. This took it just too strong. Or it was just lucky. And the PIATS finally in place to aim at the Stuk. Nice try, but no cigar. Looks suspiciously like a bazooka, but I'm sure they had a different mechanism. I heard that they had to reload it, load it by using their legs or something because it was just too tough to do it by hand. Yeah, so some surrendered Germans in the field, not knowing what to do, and we have captured the middle village finally, and still moving up. On the right flank, we are now crawling into the edge of the wood, nearing the right. Well, I mean that's actually south, the southern town or village, with the carriers supporting them, and the carriers, well, I mean, I decided to move these guys, I don't know, for some reason. There's not really a chance of them being deployed in this battle, because their range is so limited. Also time they have to climb up, and if I ambushing them, maybe I could set them up to near the scattered trees and whatnot, and wait for the Germans, but we are attacking, so... And this is the middle part, and the right flank, as you can see, we are trying to crawl into this blasted village. And the left flank, we are still waiting for the PIATS. Now I think there are 4 PIATS with the red, as you can see, the red lines aiming at the Stuk, so it's not really long for the world. If I have any competent man under my command. And upper side hit, but no serious damage. Okay, so I think we have some incompetent, well not incompetent, unlucky PIATS guys trying to, for the first time in this battle, trying to aim at the tank. They faced bunkers, and some guy have destroyed the bunker with the PIATS round, but yeah, this is the first time they faced a tank, German Panzer, and a pretty good one at that too. And this guy, I don't know what this guy's thinking is. I mean, they are defending the right town, right village, right flank village in the south, but just running out to meet the track hit by another PIATS. Yeah, they're trying to run out, you know, our advancing party like this in order to meet them head on. I don't know whether they actually realize that they're Canadians there. Maybe they're trying to outflank us or something in the dark. And this is their own artillery they're being hit by, so yeah, they don't really have any sense of self-preservation. And we are trying to infiltrate the German territory in the middle with open express. And this guy's running. I think that guy was the guy was hiding in the northern part of the middle village. This guy is now realized his mistake. This guy running is eliminated. Yeah, could have surrendered, but I think the morale's high enough that they're still willing to run away and rather than to kind of surrender. I don't know what governs that behavior, maybe it's just random. Or if they have heavy weapons and still have to run, they know that it's done deal and surrender really quickly. But if they have rifle and pistol, they can still run and fight, so I guess they still try to run away from us. Alright, so next turn is just fighting new enemies and trying to clean up on the left flank, where the tank is just inching upwards in order to see if there's any heavy obstruction that needs to be cleared. Yeah. So finally, maybe the PIATS, be able to overcome this predicament. Yeah, finally knocked out. And the tank has not been shooting for a while, so something has gone wrong in the last couple of turns. It stopped shooting each gun. And it just ended its misery. And now we are free to advance, I think, more or less in the left flank. And the problem now lies in the right flank, in the southern village. The Germans are once again entrenched in the woods, the outskirts of the town. I mean, I did artillery barrage. I did direct artillery barrage at that town for, I don't know how many turns, like 10 turns now, or 9 turns. I don't know whether that had any effect, but I like to believe that it did displace some Germans out of their hiding spots, away from the buildings. That's all I could ask for. It's a really aggressive attacking pattern. I'm trying to make the most of the night, move under cover, while the German guns have limited range and operate on the place. And I do believe there are a lot of German guns nearby, especially further up the road in Troteval. And this machine gun is all that's left of any heavy resistance through Beauvoir. And now we are trying to envelop them still, but of course, yeah, there's some work to be done still. There's a German tanker running away into the bush. The artillery is still firing at the target, and probably for the last turn, because we need to move up. I think artillery will have to direct their fire elsewhere. Let's see if I do that. Yeah, so I changed the artillery to fire at Troteval, further up the road. Northern, no, it's not really north, sorry. Just because it's up means that it's north, it's actually east. Here once again, I try to advance through the middle and attack on the right, while the heavy weapons move up behind, mortars and the like, to try to support our guys fighting. Okay, so let's see if I can push these guys finally out of the town, or out of the village of Beauvoir. Yeah, they're a tough bunch, still holding on. And this guy has a wise idea of advancing through, not only in the open field, but through the stone wall, which impedes their progress and is basically shaken. Yep, shaken lost, I think 2 or 3 guys, and has only cover of, I think they are in good cover though, but they lost a lot of men. And here we are starting to slowly creep our way. I think the wall of attrition is taking hold on the German machine gun guy. Giving most of our fire at the machine gun. Here at Beauvoir, yeah, we are advancing through houses in order to make sure that we get every German out of the streets. Yeah, so this is like on all fronts we are facing some battle, except for those guys. Those guys are free to move about in the French wheat field and crossing into another open field, possibly under the cover of darkness. And we are mostly through Beauvoir, and tank has stopped moving. Just let the infantry finish the job. Yeah, I'm waiting for the tanks to make a big push whenever we reach higher ground, and that is just at the edge of the map here. We still have some climb to do, but hoping that the open expanse is going to provide us with some good sights, a line of sight. Yeah, so Germans are running to and fro. That guy got eliminated. Carriers are not moving and bringing the machine guns with them. I have used them a bit earlier, but I don't know. I mean, there was a tank, so. So we are defeating them one by one, just whittling them down. Same case for the southern village here. Yeah. Machine gun still firing. Unabated. I don't know whether that was our guy or their guy. Probably our guy. And this machine gun still resisting. Yeah. Almost their fallen comrade. Fighting to the last man. We're facing shots from both sides and fight to the last man it did. Calling for medic, but there are unfortunately no medic units here. I guess Canadians really don't care for medics, or there simply isn't a medic unit available in this game. Maybe further, I guess later on with more games in the series they'd probably introduce medic units or something, but not to magically heal units like in RTSs, but to maybe with each operation maybe the medic units could help by their presence alone be able to help more guys active in the next battle. Press more men into the battle. Although suffering some casualties, the percentage of the event could be reactivated. And this guy also running. So the Beauvoir is clear. Yeah, more or less. They're running. Getting rid of the Canadians on the wheat field, so there's really nowhere to run for them. Only toward east. I wonder what happened to the tanker guy. Still find the machine gun guy. I don't know what it's going to. Yeah, so another machine gun surrendered. So machine gun guy surrendered a lot more than the infantry, it seems. Maybe they just had enough. They ran out of ammo. And speaking of ammo, most of these guys have been engaged in battle, so I think they are more or less halfway through their ammo reserves or ammo capacity. So on the left flank, we are just advancing up, clearing the stragglers, so to speak, along the way. We assume the pollution of traveling up the wheat field. Unfortunately, the scattered trees along the road and probably by designer choice right up the edge of the town. And we are exposed in open field here on the road to the next setup. Some cover. Another surrender. Yeah, this time an infantry guy. So I know that the German morale is dropping because they're surrendering a bit quicker now. We still have 77% morale, which is pretty good by half of the battle left. I think I started out with 88%. Now this guy doesn't realize that there's Americans creeping up and they have a good aim, finish them off. So the entrance to this town is finally open. But we're not gonna take the road, of course. We advance house by house. And German artillery is still ravaging the place, or is it our artillery? I don't know. So next turn is going to, yeah, a huge movement on the right flank as we realize, well, not really realize, but we think that the southern village is open for business to welcome Americans and Canadians with open arms. And here we also use the previous tactic of moving along the wheat field with the middle group slinking along to the edge of the scattered tree cover and providing a bit of cover on both sides, left and right side. Yeah, we lost a lot of men, but we finally through this town, this blasted town. And there's some crosses indicating the last known positions of Germans. Here there are more Germans popping up from the center of the village, along with a tank, mind you. Not a good sight. I'm sure that I kept my PIATS close though, so no need to panic right now. But still being faced with a lot of fire. Yeah, there are 2 units that popped up and taking position inside with cover nearby the road and supported by none other than a tank. So doesn't look good for us. And there's another German unit and another tank. Yeah, so this was their marginal line, Germans. I don't know what line they would call that, but as soon as we crossed into the southern town, the German tanks started popping up and counter-attacking. So that was their, the line where they decided to attack en masse. And here we are basically butting heads because we cannot really see each other in the woods. We cannot really see like 5 meters in front of us with all the foliage and darkness. And that German unit that entered the woods unbeknownst to us is a veteran unit. And we're in melee range, so it's going to be mortar combat next turn. The left flank, we're just moving up, clearing out the remnants of German defenses. And here we are recalibrating our artillery in order to, well, I mean, I don't know, false hope of taking out the tank, you know, but to suppress them and to shell shock them a bit. That's what I believe to be the cause of why the Stuke stopped attacking us at Beauvoir after a few turns, because it was simply too much vibrations going on. Rattled the teeth of German guys. Yeah, so just go into the cover, guys. That's what this turn is all about. Go into the cover and try to protect what we have gained in the last 14 or 15 turns. Yeah, surely there's really no thought of retreating. Yeah, there's basically no shred of thinking about retreating here. Yeah, and this is the close combat, as you can see. They're basically punching each other out. Yeah, not a really pretty sight, but we have numbers to our side, so we kind of overwhelmed them, but not before one of our own guys loses, like, basically gets routed, and then and this guy tried to run away, but it's just too much. There's a Canadian guy who finished the guy off, finished the unit off basically, and there's a huge loss for them, but also it inflicted a lot of damage, basically equal amount of casualty that they suffered. Also running out to greet us. Of course, the Canadians have other ideas. Yeah. And there's German defenders guarding the road like some kind of gatekeeper on both sides of the road under scattered trees. So that's going to be our next task for us, to clear out that, I think, under-strength German soldiers. Yeah, we have a whole load of men, so we'll be able to overwhelm them soon enough. And I don't get about these German tank movements. They maybe got spooked because they hear so many, they see so many activity inside the woods, so they retreating or something, or they're moving back to attack us from another angle and from the open field, pushing us down the middle. Wow, there's some fire, so that's one way of clearing the wood cover from the Americans, or rest the wood cover from the Canadians. Hopefully behind that fire, not in it. So we are able to perhaps withstand the tank attack better than we did at Beauvoir. Yeah, this is another Stuk 3G, a very capable tank. We are bringing the PIATS, as you can see. Well, I mean, you cannot see the units, but you can see them now in the bottom. Bringing the PIATS up from the west and trying to, I don't know why they even bother firing at the tank. Maybe they still think that this tank is unbuttoned or something. But it is buttoned. It's a veteran tank too, so it can handle itself pretty well. Yeah, so we have our hands full on the right flank. Kind of funny how the tables have turned. The first few turns it was the left flank guys having a lot of trouble. Now, yeah, we have even more trouble by 2 tanks. And hopefully we can use the cover and withstand this attack until the PIATS arrive into one of the houses and can take aim. Yeah, this guy stands long guard in the middle of the map. It was just there as a sentry to alert the Germans that we are advancing through the middle, because it's a really good area to make huge progress. And I think that's the PIATS now moving to the edge of the wood. Yeah, trying to take aim. I don't know whether they can, but they're within range. Their range is around 100 meters. Give or take a few meters. Okay. I think they can actually have lethal range up to 120 meters. Similar to bazooka or the second version of Panzer Shrek. Or Panzer Faust. But then this tank also runs away pretty quickly. Yeah, they do have a lot of... They do move really quickly. Thanks to its veteran status. And another car has been revealed. I think it's a half-track. A truck. Yeah, as you can see here, the truck is moving across the field where the lone German sentry was being attacked. Alright, so next up is trying to wait for the artillery barrage and maybe see if we can break through, just as we did at Beauvoir in the south village as well. But I think they're better entrenched with machine guns in the houses and the woods. Yeah, I'm trying to decide what to do. I think I'm deciding to go and sneak and ambush the German soldiers in the wheat field. And then after that, go into the woods straight away and see if we can withstand the tank or even hide from them. This is all to engage the Germans up there. The left flank is just, yeah, we identify the targets. These 2 guys on the both sides of the road is the problem. The rest can, the rest is rather ineffective. Out of the picture. Trying to bring the tanks also. They do have heavy explosive rounds. Unlike the Firefly, which is yeah, all anti-armor, armor piercing. So turn 22, I think. Yeah, still a bit of a standstill as we try to fight across the street. And this guy is out of position, is being faced with is facing fire from 3 German sides, so yeah, it is wisely retreats to the house. And this guy is running away, I think due to the morale. Another tank has been revealed, going straight to our middle, which is a problem because I don't have any cover. So in my plan of trying to push deep into German territory on that side has apparently not really working out too well. I didn't realize another tank, my goodness, yeah, we are definitely done for here. It's going to face a full wipe, so to speak. These are pretty good men I sent here to try to push into the middle and establish some kind of position. But yeah, I didn't realize that there be so many tanks that the Germans can command. I think full garrison from Khan has come out to play. Yeah, once again, a bit of a stalemate here, bogging down. I don't know. Doesn't seem too much of a position. Here is a bit more staunch. Yeah. And taking a bit of a, I think, break, quote-unquote break from the German armor presence, barging in on here to try to move the PIATS into place, into buildings and wherever cover you can find. The middle guys are now trying to not only run back but crawl back. I don't know whether it's going to serve any purpose other than to be a bit more, I don't know, increase the chance of more ignoble death. Or humiliation, that is, I don't know. If the German tanks can probably just simply run over us as they try to crawl, so that's what the Russians used to do. I don't know whether the Germans employ the same tactic. I mean, they could have done it, but it's night, it's dark, and it's scary, and there are crickets above, so it's pretty unnerving, right? So yeah, I don't know. These guys in trouble, definitely. And these guys, we don't know what is happening around 300 meters away from them. Whereas, I don't know. There's a lot of tank sounds and screams and... Oh, the tank up here, so my goodness, they have a whole core crawled here. Goodness, they're just appearing out of nowhere. I mean, if I could have seen them at least, just across with the, you know, unidentified mark, I've been thinking whether it's armor. It's going to give me a pause and then allow me to garrison all my troops and lie in wait in a kind of ambush. Oh, throw a grenade. Still meaning to fight, eh? Yeah, so if I saw at least a mark or something, like iron cross mark with them thinking it's a tank, then I could have just garrisoned the units and lie in wait for some kind of counter, but they just appeared all of a sudden. Maybe during the night they can't really identify the tanks at our own peril. So yeah, I mean, attacking party always loses out in this kind of environment. And there's no air support, so that is also a pretty, yeah, it's a big shortcoming, especially from the Allied side, because they, I think, practically was able to call on air support pretty frequently in this point. I think in year July, I think a month after D-Day, yeah, I think they kept called on and relied upon air support more often than before, but I mean, it's night, so can't really do that. Yeah, so we are fighting on both sides, and we are escaping, running for our lives in the middle. And the Germans can create a pretty dangerous salient if they want to. Bringing the tanks in, yeah, bring our own tanks, but I don't know what good it's going to do. Right now from here, I don't think the German Panzers can see our tanks. Thankfully, because some of these tanks could be a Tiger. The last remaining Tiger is on the Western Front. I mean, yeah, they probably had some Panthers too. But it's not until the Battle of the Bulge where the Americans really felt the sting of Panthers just wrecking stuff. Decided to bring in some heavier and I don't know, armor because of that fast-tracked perishing tank development. I think brought in some more upgraded version like PZ-8. Yeah, I think that is definitely a Mark 4 or Stuke 3, and those tanks in the middle, I don't know exactly what they are, but then the Americans in their, or the Canadians in their terrible fear, they think it's a tiger, so better to run away. But not this guy called De Gaulle, Lieutenant De Gaulle. I don't know whether there's a relation actually with the famous French marshal. Well, he's basically trying to save his buddies by running up toward the tanks. Very valiant effort. I don't know whether it's going to end up well for him though. He eliminated one guy finally, and the other guy is running, so yeah. So we could advance for Troteval. But I do think that there's some German guns up there. Yeah. I'm not on the delusion that it's going to be just open. Yeah, it seems like, yeah, this guy, man. Wow, he's some gumption. So deserves some Victoria Cross. I don't know whether he's going to live to see it though. Oh my goodness, survived 2 tank blasts. Oh my goodness, but then the machine gun was like, yeah, did him in. He's hurt. But saved his buddies. He's man under his command, so yeah, I don't know whether there's actually intentional behavior that was just shown, but yeah, very impressive, really. Out of the just stark failure, there's that lone bright light that saved the men from further death. Yeah, so what are the Tigers going to do now? Can they see us? Can they have a line of sight to the rest of the stricken troops? Certainly can do here. We're fighting 2 battles. One a very difficult battle, a losing one, trying to face the German armor, and the other one trying to keep stalemate and retain as much territory as possible. I sent the carriers back because of the German armor movement. I'm afraid that German armor is going to make a beeline straight for the Sherman tanks on the left flank. They're definitely seeing the tanks. And I can count a lot of tanks. Yeah, just on the edge of that wheat field. My goodness. If I'm lucky, I don't know. This is the point where I decide to try to stand pat and take as much territory that I could have as much territory I can get, and finish up some of the battles and advance to the nearest cover and prepare for the oncoming battle with the entire German corps from Khan. Yeah, so 160 casualties with 42 KIA, so I think in this battle I lost around 20% compared to 10% of the last battle. Yeah, which is getting a bit alarming, but I did receive a new reinforcement in the form of you'll soon see. But this is yeah, what happened. We took all the towns that we set out to occupy. So that's mission accomplished, but we suffered a lot of casualties, of course, and I could have done some things better. We could have used the tanks a bit better, of course. Yeah, I don't know, I tried to keep them, save them up for the last few fights. And I could have used the infantry, yeah, I think I could have micromanaged them a bit better. If I expected the German armors to be congregated there. Yeah, but we got all the artillery spotters with all the rounds back, and we have a few tanks. And of course some men, mostly infantry, and some heavy weapons thrown in. Yeah, mostly infantry, Canadian infantry coming to help us, and also the armor. Most of these are Cromwell 4s, which is on the level of Sherman 3s in terms of usefulness, but we do have another Firefly. Cromwell 4 or 7s, there's really no difference really. It's not really that much of a tank. It's just a light tank, in my opinion, in terms of its armament, and yeah, I don't think it can go toe to toe even with the Stuka 3s. I think it can have a This can wipe the floor. If it was Crusader, I could be a bit more inclined to, be more inclined to do some kind of tank-to-tank battles. But this is shaping up to be, I don't know, it seems to be increasingly more like a turn or battle where we're going to have to weather some German counterattacks supported by their huge armor. So we'd have to probably set up some defenses and concede some areas such as at Beauvoir. Or we can attract the Germans by appearing to take that hill. As you can see, the lighter color means it's higher up on the terrain. And then try to advance toward Troteval on the other side. So it's a bit of a give and go. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, and until next time in battle number 5, please stay tuned.